We all want to welcome back our wonderful colleague, Congresswoman Giffords, here. And with that, I have...
Obviously, such an incredible moment on the House floor last night as Arizona Congresswoman Gabby Giffords made this surprise appearance just 8 months after being shot to cast her vote in favor of raising the U.S. debt ceiling. Jessica Brady is a staff writer at Roll Call. She covers the Hill. What a moment, Jessica. Certainly, as morale has been boosted by that specific moment in the midst of morale being smashed for the last couple of months. Certainly, did that overshadow a lot of the other bickering that you were expecting to see last night when you were covering the story?
And Nicole, it was an incredible moment. Certainly nobody was expecting to see it. Everybody was so preoccupied about the debt limit vote. We all wanted to see how many Democrats would cross over, how many Tea Party freshmen would vote no. And then all of a sudden on Twitter it was exploding that Congresswoman Gabby Giffords was coming back to cast a vote. And then after the vote, when she left the Capitol, both Vice President Biden and Minority Leader Nancy Pelosi came out, both just so emotional, so excited to see their colleague. And this really was a bipartisan feeling. And Pelosi told reporters afterward that the reason why it was even more incredible was given that it was a bipartisan vote, that it was after all of these grueling weeks of negotiations, to have something like that, to leave on the August recess was a nice moment for all members to come together.
Jessica, here's a question. You know, in the vote last night, about 3/4 of House Republicans voted in favor of the debt ceiling increase with the spending cuts that accompanied them. And the leadership, of course, supported it. Yet I noticed most of the leading presidential candidates on the Republican side came out against the deal, including Governor Romney, Congresswoman Bachmann, et cetera. What was the reaction among the leadership and the people in the House who were sitting there voting for that to see their candidates coming out against?
I don't think that was a terribly big surprise. I think that you've seen a lot of people that are running for higher office, whether it be the presidency, governorships, Senate offices. They've come out against a lot of these things, saying that they don't go far enough. They want stronger language. They want the cut, cap, and balance bill, basically, that was proposed by the Republican Study Committee a couple weeks ago. You even saw, for example, Denny Rehberg. He's a Republican running for the Senate in Montana. He voted against this deal. I don't think that was a terrible surprise.
Jessica, hi, it's Louisa in London. Do you think that the Republicans or the Democrats think, we won? Do you think one of the sides thinks we definitely took a victory in this, or are they looking at it as a lot of people in the markets are, namely that there is no winner in this?
I don't know. I think that's a tough question to answer. Again, you know, going back to what we were talking about just a moment ago with Congresswoman Giffords, there has been so much debate over this, so much wrangling, so much one-upmanship at times to try to figure out who's going to win in the end. And I think that the fact that this was a deal that the president came behind, certainly congressional Democrats want to support him, and they recognize that him doing well in these talks and in being able to sign this into law to avoid a default is important for him, it's important for the country, it's important for their electoral outlook for 2012. Certainly, Republicans are very proud of the fact that they have forced these negotiations into talking about cuts, not talking about more spending. Certainly, of course, there are enough Republicans that didn't vote for this deal, that didn't feel like it went far enough. Likewise, you saw that on the Democratic side, too. So I think that most people probably feel like, in the end, it was a draw.
But do you think it was a missed opportunity bump for the president as well to lead and come up with his own proposal?
I do. I think the opportunity still exists because the bigger game is not this first phase of cuts. It's the second phase that's going to be decided by this bipartisan commission. But that's the larger issue. What are we going to do about the long-term deficit picture driven, as I say, by entitlements? To me, what's been so curious in this whole debate is if you think of major presidential initiatives over time, President Reagan with the Kemp-Roth tax cuts, Bill Clinton with welfare reform, George H.W. Bush Sr. with the Clean Air Act. Those debates started by the president making a proposal, then going out and educating the American people about that proposal, and then they go to the Hill and negotiate, and they get about 80% of what they wanted. That's what Chris Christie's done in New Jersey. The reason he was able to balance 2 budgets in a row without raising taxes, and he was able to reform the pension system, is he made a specific proposal, then he went and had a town hall in every single county in the state, and then he went and negotiated with the the Democrats, and he got about 80% of what he wanted. It's so curious to me that Obama, who says, I'm going to convene meetings, I'm going to sit here, I'm going to make myself look good, he hasn't come forward. He didn't in his budget. His budget was defeated 97-0. He didn't stand up in the State of the Union and endorse the proposal of his own commission. You can think it was good or bad, but he didn't even take a view on it. It's so curious he hasn't made a specific proposal to, a detailed legislative proposal for how we're going to address these problems, and that's why he really hasn't controlled the debate, I think.
Perhaps a missed opportunity, but some say he is moving more to the center. Bob sticks around for another segment. Jessica, always great to see you. Jessica Brady, staff writer for Roll Call, joining us live from Washington.